Where to begin? My hair look crazy. Um, I don't know. I see people suffer around me all the time. And I see myself suffer, but I have Jesus, so I have somebody who truly cares about me. And all I can keep telling people is to try Jesus. It won't hurt. It won't set you back. In fact, it may change your life. It may change your life for the best thing ever. Being 5 months sober now, I've had to crawl out the darkness, but I didn't do it alone. I had Jesus, and even though some days seemed like they lasted forever and I would never make it through, I had that hope. I had Jesus. Everybody was talking about, oh, look to your higher power. If your higher power ain't got no power, try Jesus. Because at the end of the day, he'll give you hope. He'll give you a reason. You get born into this world not knowing who you are, and you're a clean slate, and then this world just tears you down. It breaks you apart, and it makes you look in the mirror and say, who am I? And there is hope. There is a God that's so beautiful and so wonderful that he'll love you back to life. He'll teach you worth. He'll teach you value. He'll teach you how to forgive yourself because he forgave you. So if he could forgive you, you could forgive you. It's just like I go into these groups and I see these people with no hope and these people that are like don't have any self-worth. And these people that just like, I just want to go back to my addiction because then I don't have to feel. But you're never dealing with it. You're never seeing your worth. You're just masking the pain. And for what? To just do the same endless cycle over and over and over again. Now, I'm still in the beginning stages. I went to an AA meeting the other day talking about 12 steps and the sponsor. Well, my sponsor is Jesus Christ. And I've realized that I've went through all these steps with Jesus. Maybe I didn't have a sponsor by earthly standards, but I had a sponsor that is changing me. People are telling me they see a difference in me. So if my life can be effectual in some way to help someone, I want to be there to do that. I see my life has value. It has hope. I have self-worth. I don't need to go sleep with somebody to feel like I'm loved anymore. I don't have to give myself away to feel like I get the attention. I've been sober for about, a few months now or whatever. I know it's not easy, but I'm seeing my self-worth now. I'm seeing the beautiful and wonderful person that God made me to be. My message to you is that you are wonderful and you are special and you have hope. And I don't know what situation you're in, and I don't necessarily have to know. All I have to say is try Jesus, because it ain't gonna hurt. And even if you don't feel nothing right away, you didn't lose nothing. But if you do, you gain everything. They want to talk about all these religions. How about relationship? Try that. Because there's a big difference between going to a building, doing what people tell you to do, and trying to follow what everybody else says. And then there's a relationship with the Most High God that goes with you everywhere you walk. You can have a conversation all throughout the day with him. And what's the difference between Jesus and Muhammad or, like whatever religion out there, nature? Well, God made nature, so of course you're supposed to enjoy it. But I'd rather worship the creator of it than it itself. Even though nature does give me peace because God created it. It's just like saying that God is just so infinite and so wonderful that you can ask him any question. And he might not answer right away, but he'll answer sometimes through people, through things, through places. It's amazing because he's just such a personal God. And I don't think you can make up a God that would die for you. In fact, people can't believe it to this day. They're like, God wouldn't come down here and die for me. That's even more reason why you should believe it, because I can't believe it. And I believe it. Yeah, it's weird. But if you are where I am in life, just trying to figure yourself out, And I'm 36 years old, so just trying to find out who I am. But I feel like I'm becoming a better person than I was before even my addiction. I believe I'm not, masking what was wrong, but facing it now. And I feel like I'm becoming better than I've ever been before because I'm finally able to look at myself and say, you know what? God didn't mess up. God didn't make a mistake. I'm a beautiful, wonderful person, and I'm just starting to figure out who I am and what my potential is. And you're not going to do that in the beginning. It's not like, it just, Rome wasn't built in a day. It doesn't just happen overnight. It literally is a process of rebuilding yourself, but you can't do that by yourself. You didn't make you in the first place. A creator made you, and he knew you before you knew you, so he knows you better than you know yourself. So sometimes when you reach out to your creator, he can show you, but the beautiful you didn't even know you could be, because this world told you that you weren't good enough. This world put you down. This world told you all these horrible things that are not true. And Jesus, he offers you life more abundantly. Not just when you leave this earth. He offers you a better life here on earth. Because even though you think you have to give all these things up to heaven, which in a way you're going to want to. You're not going to want to sleep around anymore because you're going to have self-worth. You're not going to want to do drugs anymore because you're going to have self-worth. You're not going to want to self-medicate anymore because you have self-worth. And every time somebody says something bad to you, you now know that you have a support basis. You have a loving creator who would never say that to you. And the Bible will remind you how much he loves you. The Bible will remind you how much he cares about you, and that everything they say is just because they're broken and they don't know him. And once you start applying this to your life and you start living it, they're not just going to notice you by the words that you speak. They're going to notice you by the way your body language is, by the way you act. They're going to notice a change in you, and that's what's going to make them want to change. I'm seeing that for myself. To be effectual is to be affected in the first place. You can't help nobody unless you help yourself first. But how much can you really help yourself? As I sat in this group today, and this man said he didn't trust himself. Truth of the matter is, I don't trust me neither. But that's okay, because I trust my creator. And now that I know that I have a God that will never change, he stays the same yesterday, today, and forever. And he is a firm foundation. So if he is a firm foundation and I put my trust in him, the situation looks a whole lot different. I don't know who you are. I don't know if anybody's ever going to watch this video. But if you do, try Jesus, because you won't lose a thing. In fact, you'll have life more abundantly. So if you are that person that chooses to watch this, I just encourage you. If nothing else has worked, if everything else has failed, and I'm not talking about the Jesus of religion either. I don't care how many times you've been to church before, somebody didn't appreciate you in the church, somebody didn't love you in the church. That's not who Jesus is. When I was growing up, like I used to say, if God is anything like my father, I don't want to know him. But, God let me know he was nothing like my father. In fact, he's a perfect father, and he was a loving father, and he is not of this world. Like, he's not the same as us. He is a merciful, loving God. He will remove your sin from far as the east is from the west. And he will never leave you. He will never forsake you. And if you mess up, he ain't going to go, well, you did too much, and I'm done with you. No, actually, he's going to tell you, just come back to me. Just talk to me. I love you so much. I just want you to give me a chance. So the best thing I can tell you right now is try Jesus, because it's worth it.